Fantastic. Yeah. As you probably guessed from that, yes, this session is being recorded. If you don't want to be part of that, that's absolutely fine. We won't judge you. There will be no issues at all. Please turn off your camera or remove your name, and that's absolutely fine. So just a little bit about Code Untapped, and then Kin+Carta Andre will touch on who Kin+Carta are and what they do. Code Untapped is an organization dedicated to helping underrepresented technologists find their voice. We work with organizations across the country and incredible underrepresented technology talent in order to both solve problems for those organizations and to expose them to underrepresented technologists such as yourself. Now, that's the last time you're going to hear me say the word underrepresented. Clue is in the name. We don't see as underrepresented, we see as untapped talent, right? What we see is a pool of individuals with incredible potential for whom whatever reasons have been unable to fully achieve their potentials, and we want to be part of the solution to that, right? And that's what we do. For us, it's not enough to open the door. We have to open the door and pull people through. What we've been doing over the last 18 months is running a series of events in partnership with different organizations, giving incredible, talented individuals like yourselves, not just exposure to problems, but exposure to organizations, exposure to senior ranking individuals at these companies, and ultimately exposure to roles. And that's what we're here to do. Now, I'm not going to keep on about Code Untapped. I think it's time for Andre to talk a little bit about our fantastic partners at Kin+Carta Create and what they do.
Thanks. I'm going to give a brief introduction to who are Kin+Carta. So Kin+Carta is a technology partner, and today we have people from the Create brand. So Create mainly focus on the build of technology products, which I will go through in a second. So Kin+Carta are a digital transformation partner for the real world. So one of our slogans is we make the world work better. So what does that mean and how does that look? So we have a global connective of offices around the world of up to 1,500 digital experts. This spans across Europe, North and South America. And we work with loads of digital partners from all across the world. As you can see, this is there's a small list of the people that we've worked with now and in the past. Some you may know, such as Santander, Tesco and Shell. We basically partner with them to help build digital transformations or digital solutions for them. And as an example, I have one here. So this is one where we helped an American company with a AI kind of data processing application. So basically with this app we built, uses AI technology that it kind of scans a corn from your farm and basically tells you how good it is. So it's able to analyze how good the yield is. And basically this allows farmers to make on-the-spot decisions of like getting rid of a corn to make sure the good corn grows. And this allows us to make more informed decisions. And we help them build that with artificial intelligence. Another example we did is for Marks and Spencer's. So Marks and Spencer's last year, towards the end of last year, introduced this new offering called Mobile Pay Go. And what this does is you're able to walk through the store and scan the items as you go and pay through the app or transfer that your basket to the in-store till. This is great because it allows more foot through the stores, and it just enhances the offering for customers. And we spent a couple of months helping them build out this new digital solution for them. And one more example I have is this app. So this app we built for a company called Dun Humphrey. And what this app does is basically it scans your receipts and rewards you for them. So as you scan your receipt, you get points for doing that. And this app was actually built using Flutter, which you'll be going through this session today and through the next sessions and the next session after that. And this was really exciting for us because this was really one of our first ever Flutter projects that we built. So this is multi-platform. It runs on both Android and iOS, and really one of the first in its kind to be done for production value. So that means they went out to real users, not just tests. So yeah, this was a really, really exciting project for us. And I hope you really enjoy the sessions that are going to come in the future for this. So without further ado, I will pass the time back to Swav. Let's run the session.
Okay, Andre. Yeah, so we will attempt today to set up an environment for building Flutter app, which will allow you to build iOS, Android, and with a bit more work around web and other platforms like Windows or macOS. Flutter is not limited to mobile only, but we will focus on mobile right now, and we'll solve the problems which come when you want to compile for mobile. For first, it's not like a website that you can essentially write and you show it in the browser, it's already there. If you want to compile something for a mobile, you need to specify a tool chain, which is required for a specific platform. Today, we won't focus on iOS side, on the Xcode, just because I don't know what laptops you're using. If you don't have MacBooks Pro and the MacBooks effectively, you can't compile for iOS. That's the platform lockdown. But if you have any other platform, you can for sure make it work for Android, and this is what we'll try to do. So I will share now my screen. Yes, that's a lovely screen. Yeah. Probably you see now the Flutter website, yes?
Swerve, just a quick second before you get into it, everyone, please feel free to follow along in the background. Hopefully you followed the prerequisite instructions that were sent out. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. And then you have Jason, who's my co-founder, as well as one of our coaches, Jermaine, and potentially myself. Jermaine, do you want to wave a hand so that people can see you? Thank you. To answer any potential questions and try and support you as Swav is taking you through this amazing workshop. All right, Swav, back over to you, mate.
Yeah, thank you. So effectively, the idea is that you will end up with essentially this thing set up and ready to run. So if you stumble anywhere, raise your hand, write in a chat, so we can actually focus on this specific and learn essentially how to solve these kind of problems. So I'm currently on flutter.dev. When we send our invites for this meetup, there were prerequisites to essentially download from various places. And one of them was essentially the SDK. I'm currently in Flutter Dev Docs and get started. And now I need to decide which platform I'll be installing on. So please tell me which platform should I focus first? How many users for macOS do we have today? Question, yeah. How many? Can you raise your hands? There are reactions on your panel for Zoom. there are reactions, and you can like clap or write thumbs up like this, if you can see it. Yeah. So how many of you have macOS today? So you can see 1, 2. Roberta, are you running on Windows? Damien, I can't see any reaction from Damien, from Marvin, don't Charles. Yeah, 1, 2. I'm both. Okay.
Yeah. So I can help anybody. Yeah.
Okay, let's try with Mac first. Okay. So yeah, so let's go again. Share, and let's go for macOS. Good. So currently the install is simplified. You don't need to have Git itself initially. You have to have it later. So these are the commands that you should be you would like to run from your command from your prompt. To test it, I'm going to show you the Windows version of it because I'm currently on the Windows. Probably you've noticed.
Do you want me to, Suave?
Yeah,
Yes.
If I can jump it, that I'm going to guide you.
I'm just going
to
share
test it.
Yeah, I'll share this screen here. Share. So guys, Suave is looking at the Mac install at the moment. Yeah. And what you're going to need, if you're using a Mac, guys, what you're going to need is you're going to need to bring up the terminal. So the terminal can be found here. It's on your desktop here, or you go into Launchpad, and you can get your terminal. There should be a terminal session somewhere in Launchpad. Where is it?
Or you can do Alt space and type terminal.
Yeah.
There it is. So in other, so I've got it in other. So in other, you see there's terminal there, and you can just click that, and that will bring up a terminal for you guys. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
this will be a very useful tool for everything you using effectively. So Bash, you don't have to check. You have it on macOS. It has to be there. But you may try to run curl command. So please write curl command and see what it does.
So if I do curl here, yeah, it says more information. So that means that curl is definitely installed on my.
It is installed. Okay. Git.
So if I type git, yeah, it will give me all of this information, which means that Git is installed. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
So guys,
next one is.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and the next one is mk dir rm. These two should be there. It's a bash command, so it should be difficult to have it. They created directories and remove files. Unzip. Let's see if we have unzip.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And then which.
So which doesn't do anything by itself, but if you do which something like a command, like which Flutter, it will point to the which tells you the location of the command that comes after which. So which, that's where my Flutter command is installed on my on my machine.
Okay. And zip. Can you try zip?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So you have everything installed. So as a prerequisite, we've asked you to download this file. This is for your platform. If you didn't, please do it. And then what you have to do, you have to, after downloading, hopefully you have it, so you don't have to wait for it. It's good to actually create a specific folder when you will install Flutter, so it doesn't just sit on a desktop or places like this. This is why here in this guide you see cd this tilde here means that this is your home directory / development. This means that someone has created the development folder and then use the unzip the downloads Flutter macOS 1.17.5 stable zip into this folder. So what you would have to do, so I will ask you, Jason, to if you can essentially create a folder somewhere, like in the main, you know.
So guys,
here,
So guys, I'm gonna effectively just do whatever Suave tells me to do, and I just want you to follow along. So I'm gonna go to my home directory. To go to your home directory, you just do cd and that little tilde command, and I'm now at the home directory. So let me just.
So
So I'm at my home directory there. That's my home directory, and you can tell it's your home directory if you do pwd. That means print working directory. Tell me where I am on my box, and I'm in users Jason Halstead. So that's my home directory there. So that's where you guys need to be. You need to be if you're on Mac.
Quick one. Do you mind increasing the font size a little bit? I think some people might struggle to read that on their laptop screens.
You have a very big screen.
I know. Sorry. Right, where do I do? Oh, actually, what I'll do, I'll just make it smaller. I'll change my resolution.
If you press Command and plus, that should.
Command and plus.
Yeah.
And plus. Is that better, guys?
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah. A bit more.
Yeah. Better?
Yeah. I can see it already.
That's more readable now. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. And I'll do it on this one as well. Yeah, just in case I need another one. Command. Okay, cool. All right, good. Yeah, carry on, Suave.
Yeah, so now let's create a folder which will act as our folder for installation. So mkdir mkdir.
So I've already got the development folder created here. So
so if you just can type command, don't execute it, just mkdir development.
So guys, that's what you need to type. Make oops.
Yeah, if you move a bit up, it will be So if you execute this command, essentially this folder which is already here, if you see it will be created. So please execute it, and then you can do command cd space development to actually get into this.
Yeah, so I'll do cd development, and I'm here. Yeah, and this is where my Flutter tool is. Now, guys,
you won't see anything in this folder. It won't show you because you haven't created anything yet. Yeah. Is actually you're on Windows. Okay. So
no, I'm on the
I'm looking at the chat right now. So okay. Who is as because it collapsed my.
So a few of us are on Windows Suave. I think myself, Janet.
So we'll do Windows.
We'll do Windows just in a second, right?
That's all right. And I think some of us have already got our laptops already set up anyway. So maybe when you get to that point, just double check if anyone hasn't got their setup ready to go.
Yeah. So so now in this folder.
So guys, if you've downloaded this Flutter, Mac will by default usually put it in your downloads folder. So you can see this downloads folder, and that downloads folder is actually just off of your home directory. So if you go back to your home directory, you'll see here you've got this is your home directory here, and this is the downloads folder. So Flutter, when you actually download it, it should put the file in this downloads directory.
Yeah. But if you jump into development one, Please go to the development.
I'm in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's development. Yeah.
Yeah. So now if you type essentially what I've typed on the chat, so it's unzip and then ~downloads/Flutter Mac OS/1.75 stable zip. So this is the what we've mentioned before. So your home folder, downloads, and this is where the zip file is. So we're asking unzip the file which is there into the folder we are sitting in, right?
Yeah. All right. Cool. So that's what that command will do. So I can actually.
Yeah.
You
can't do it because you have it, right?
Exactly. I can't do it because I have it. So it will.
Yeah.
It will actually unzip and put it there. Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
you know what
I
I'm
would
going
like
to do?
to see that someone actually completed this and tell me that you've
You know what I'm
completed
going to
this
do,
on your machine.
Swab? I'm going to do this again. So I'm going to I'm going to go up one, and I'm just going to make another directory. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so that people can see that Suave is actually telling the truth. So I'll just create
Hopefully.
development 2. Yeah. So I'll make that directory. If I go into development 2, yeah, into that folder, there's nothing in that folder. Yeah. So I'm now going to just run that command that Suave has asked me to run. Yeah. Oops. I cannot find it because I've got a different version. Yeah. So I'll go here and I'll just do tab. Yeah. So I've got an earlier version. Yeah. So if I run what the version that I've got there, it will effectively it will just unzip the contents of that zip file into that folder. Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes a moment, not much. You can see it. It's inflating all the files there, and this is So this is how you get it. Just out of curiosity, Jason, when did you download your file?
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Two minor versions in 2 weeks. Okay, these guys are crazy. This is how they're moving. Okay. So this is the initial step to get this thing in place, and now what this will be important is to be able to find the Flutter in your command line regardless where you are, because you won't be executing Flutter command from the Flutter folder. You'll be executing from the project folder where your source files sit for your application. So for this, you'll have to run this. Okay, I've just done the wrong copy because I'm switching between laptops, and that's very confusing. So now what I've put into chat is the magic commands, right, which adds the Flutter binary to the path. So I will explain quickly what this command does. So it exports the path. So essentially, it makes available the environment variable in the command line. Then it will take the command line. This is this $path, and then it will put a colon, which is essentially append this path with other things. Then you have this tiny. Please carefully look at these apostrophes, which are surrounding PWD. They are not straight ones. They are like a slash ones. You have to find them on your keyboard. On mine, they are in up left corner. And what they do, essentially, they will, into this PWD, it's gonna put your home address, right? So this will allow essentially find your home folder on your laptop, then Flutter, then bind, and this bin. This will be added to the path, and this way you will be able to find the command. Yeah, so this is for Macs, right? This is for Macs. Windows is completely different beast in this case, and we're gonna go through it in a second.
So guys, if you look at my screen, what I've done is I've echoed the path. So what Suave is referring to is this variable called path, and it's a system variable that tells your laptop, it tells your Mac where to find certain commands. Yeah, so that's what the path does. It tells your computer where to find certain commands. And I've just echoed my path, and you can see that the location of Flutter is already in my path because I've done this already. So if you can see, here, you can see that that is the location of Flutter.
Dart.
Yeah. So
yeah, this is Dart, and the Flutter is slightly before.
Yes, and then here
one
is
before user JSON. Yeah, development Flutter bin.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that's what is required. Now there's a one important thing which is missing from most of the guys is that this echo, this variable, will be in this state for as long as you don't close your terminal. The moment you close it, it goes away. So to make it permanent, there are another steps to do it, and we're gonna now look at these steps. Open new tab. I'm gonna try to essentially show you how to do it. Where is it? Where is it? Just give me a second. Okay, I don't see here.
Yeah,
you know what? I have a very good idea. The idea is I'm gonna join from my MacBook Pro, and this way
I'm showing them.
Okay.
I'm showing them.
Okay.
So basically, guys, in your home directory, you must type this command, yeah, ls -alrt, yeah. And what that does, the A allows you to see what we call hidden files, yeah. So there are some special files in Mac that hold like system type information, and one of the system type information that they hold is your path. So if you do ls -lrt, that shows you all of these hidden files that you couldn't see before. So the files that we want to change are this one called bashrc and zshrc as well. So these are effectively, every time you open a command shell, yeah, every time you open one of these command shells, these commands, everything in this folder, everything in this file will get executed, yeah. So what Suave is about to tell you is that we're going to actually put the entry, the command that he's told you to run on your command line. We're going to actually enter it into that file here, your bashrc and your zh. If you have one, your zshrc as well. Yeah. So go on, Suave.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the file you mentioned, and for me actually. This file is called .bash_profile.
Okay, so yeah, you can do it there as well.
Do you have it?
I don't have it, but the bashrc works as well. So if you so any of those files. So if you either have a bashrc or who can you raise your hand? Who has a bashrc? Who's using Mac and has a bashrc? No one? Okay.
No one? Okay, Charles has that. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's, I think, because, you know, historically, the meaning of these files is changing with time on different systems. So initially it was bashrc, and I think bashrc works mostly for the terminal. The bash_profile, I think, is executed by bashrc. To be honest, I'm looking now at my my laptop, and it doesn't have a bashrc at all. Kind of interesting. So if you have a .bash_profile file, this is where you'll be putting the stuff in. So if you can open this file in any editor,
yeah,
and
I mean, I could use Y, but I wouldn't advise you to use Y. Use something like
it
Visual
can be
Studio.
any text editor or Visual Studio or something like this.
Yes. So you can use Visual Studio to do it. So you can just go File, open. Yeah. And then you can go up one. Something else did. I don't know if I'll be able to see hidden files actually.
There is a trick to do it on Mac, I believe.
What's the trick, Jermaine?
it was hitting this folder button or something that actually allows you to put a path where you're gonna go. No, sorry, no. There's some other way to show the hidden files here.
I think you can hold out command or option or something like that. I need to double check, but see if that works.
Yeah, I'd have to look at it as well.
Okay, so is there anybody having problems with that step, adding those path variables to the bash RC or the bash.profile? Yeah, because if not, we can skip to the next step, because essentially all you need to do effectively is go into that file and add those lines. So if I went in there, we would just add those lines at the bottom, so you can see that I've done that for my home. I've added that there to my bash RC, and I've also added it to my .zsh RC, because I think Android Studio uses the ZSH RC, so I've also added it there.
Yeah, Zahid just posted that ZSH is only on the latest version of Mac.
Okay.
So probably if you have an older system version, this is why you have a bash and
cool.
other files. Yeah.
Good.
So as you can see here, it's nicely that you have all these exports already here in the file. So you see that there will be number of things you'll be adding to actually make it happen. So yeah, so please please add modify this file on your. If you have a trouble with this, raise your hand, and we'll try to see who is raising hands. And you're gonna share your screen, and we will be guiding you how to get it done.
Yes.
So.
All right. So if no one's raising hands, Suave, let's move on to the next step, guys. Anybody who doesn't feel comfortable talking now, they can just reach out to me later. And when Suave doing the session, and then I can just show you how to do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start sharing again. Yeah. So probably this will stop others. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start sharing.
Yeah. Go on.
Yes. Okay. So what we've done these two bits. So we created a folder for our development. We've unzipped the downloaded Flutter stable zip. These steps here are essentially, if you have a Git installed, you can get Flutter using Git. Probably you've heard about Git before. If not, Git is a command line tool for version control. And to be honest, entire Flutter SDK is a one Git repository, so it is easily managed by Git. And Flutter essentially, as a command line tool, uses Git to control its own SDK. Yeah, and we've done this export thing. So these two lines are effectively doing what these two here. This one is by downloading the zipped folder. This one is by cloning directly from GitHub repository where Flutter lives. Yeah, and then actually I haven't seen this command before. Never used it before. But actually, what we would like to try now is to run this command in your command line tool, Flutter doctor. So, Jason, if you may.
Yeah. Do you want me to share? Let me.
Actually, I can try to run it on my system. So
yeah, because it will show the same thing.
Flutter doctor. In theory, it should do something.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's telling me that I'm on stable channel version 1.17.5. I have Android Studio, but I haven't installed the plugins for it. I have Android toolchain though. So this is good because this allows me to essentially build the APK. APK is a format of the application for Android. So whatever, when your Android phone is downloading to install and run, it's called APK. That's the format. And I have a VS Code, and I don't have any connected devices here, probably. Yeah. So this is what a Flutter doctor does. So please let me know if you are able to run this thing. So okay, I can see chat now. Yes. That's from Jason. Yeah. So please tell me. I can't see the raised hands anywhere. So if you have a problem, yeah. Andre, you fine?
Yes.
Because you're still raising hand. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking who has a problem. If anyone has a problem, just let me know. Yeah. Yes. -V does more details on what's going on. And what is importance of this command is that it's going to give you essentially all the health check, that's the doctor thing, on your system in terms of compiling applications. So for example, if you will be missing some dependencies or something will be incorrectly installed or Android Studio will be incorrectly installed, it will tell you there's something wrong with it. It is super helpful when you try to do Xcode and iOS setup, because there is lots of tiny commands they have to run which are not so self-explanatory, and Flutter Doctor will tell you to do them if you want to essentially compile for iOS. So if you have this, you should be able to essentially see the Flutter running. This means essentially your Flutter is running. Now, the hard part is to have this thing, so to have Android Studio installed. And for Android Studio, we will go to Android website.
Should we just, let me bring it up. Where's Android Studio?
Yeah. Yeah, so, or maybe actually go to install. So this is where you download it from. Yeah, you probably downloaded it before. So that's what you do. And this appears in your essentially download folder. And this is executable for your system. So you double click it in your Finder or in your file Explorer on Windows, and it will install it. So if I look here, my downloads, so probably this is mine, this is for Windows, right? So I've double clicked this one and installed mine. I already have Android Studio here, so I won't be doing it again. But this installs Android Studio automatically with all the stuff. Now, I wonder if it's worth actually going through the steps what to install inside Android.
I think let me just quickly let me share screen, and then we'll just quickly go through that. Yeah. So let me just share my screen. Hold on. And we'll just do this very, very quickly. So guys, this is what Android Studio looks like. I am going to close my Android Studio and quickly just open it again. Yeah, so let me just close it. Quit Android Studio. Okay, cool. So to get Android Studio, you can go to Launchpad, I believe. And where is it? And on your Launchpad, you'll be able to see Android Studio there. You just double click that, yeah, and then it will appear. Right. So when it appears, this is what you're going to see usually on when it starts on Mac, yeah. And what you want to do is you want to configure, yeah. You want to go to plugins, yeah. So you want to go to your configure, and then you want to go to plugins, yeah. And then when you go to plugins, it will present you with this modal, yeah, here. And then in this modal, I've already done it, but what you will do is you will type Flutter, yeah, yeah, and it will ask you, and then you'll have mine says disable because I've already installed it. But what you want to do is you just want to install that. You just want to click on that button there. It will say for you, if you haven't installed it yet, it will say install. Yeah. And what this does is it allows Android Studio is effectively what you use as your to change the code that you're going to create, because you're actually going to create application code. You're going to create a mobile app, and that mobile app will do something. And in order to effectively tell the app what to do, you need effectively a studio to build the functionality of the app. So this is what Android Studio allows you to do. It allows you to change the functionality of your app. And because you're using a Flutter app, you need to install some dependencies which allow Android Studio to work with Flutter. So this is what we're doing now.
So just Jason, on this point, there are two ways of developing, like a supported ways of developing apps for Flutter, and one is using Visual Studio Code, and the second one is using Android Studio. Both have plugins to do that. The thing is that even if you go for Visual Studio Code to compile the Android executable, you will need the toolchain which comes with the Android Studio. So as you've seen on my screen share, there was no plugin in Android Studio, but essentially Flutter was using the toolchain from Android Studio to compile to provide this functionality for creating APK. And all the development on my machine happens in Visual Studio Code, so I don't have to open this. What is also very helpful to have a full Android Studio, not just that toolchain, is that sometimes when you'll be working, longer, you would like to do some changes into the wrapper. So what is wrapper? Wrapper is essentially this application, Android application, which wraps the Flutter application before you can install this on Android device. Same thing is for iOS. There's a wrapper application for iOS, which hosts the Flutter application, and this runs on the iOS device. So the thing is that if you want to change anything in this wrapper, for example, you want to add different keys to sign it for Play Store or things like that. So essentially be able to do the full deployment to the public Play Store on the web and on your phones. Then you need to add the specific keys. And to do that, you need to have Android Studio because it will allow you to modify the files in this wrapper. So if you open the Flutter app right now, can you open this folder, Flutter app?
Flutter app,
yes. Yeah. If you expand this folder in the project.
Oh, so in the project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see there are folders here, iOS and Android. Let's look into Android. Yeah, and this is the wrapper. So effectively what Flutter does, it will create the binary of the Flutter and then use this sub-project Android to put this Flutter inside and run it. So to be able to edit all these files here, like Gradle, the build Gradle, and so on, to, for example, enable deployment on the, on the platform on Play Store, you will have to do it. So this is why having Android Studio is a good thing. It's not necessary from the development point of view. So when you're writing the app for yourself, you don't have to tackle with it that much. But this is why we suggest that you have this Android Studio with you. Okay, so
let's talk.
We're still struggling with the steps that we presented so far. Is anyone still? Please raise your hands. I'm scanning through our list of guests, and I don't see anyone. Everyone completed.
Good. So Swap, let's just go quickly. Just go quickly to the AVD. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what is AVD? So it's like probably you're a lucky person and you have an Android device. If you have an iPhone, you are unlucky. and this means that you have to install some emulator to be able to emulate the device on your laptop. Emulator is like a computer within a computer. It's a virtual machine. So it will require a couple of dependencies to be installed. So in your Android Studio, Jason, if you try to open...
Can you see my screen, guys, where I'm clicking on AVD Manager?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so go to Tools and then AVD Manager. Yeah, we click that. Yeah, and then I have got a virtual device already set up here. Yeah.
But probably what you'll see here initially, there will be this like a funny screen with number of icons here, and you have to add your first device. So if you create a new virtual device, yes,
I'll create a new one. So I can click this create button here, where my mouse is. If I click it here, that will ask me, that will effectively say, what virtual device do I want to create? Yeah, so I've already got one, so I won't bother to click it because, well, I can click it.
Actually, you can go and not finish it. So because what is important here is that this name here is just for the sake of the size of the screen. So if you have a pixel, there are pixels here or on other Google devices. So let's say, let's pick it up like Pixel 3 for whatever.
Pixel 3, yes.
Yeah.
Pixel 3, so I'll pick Pixel 3.
Yeah, okay. Now this tiny icon, this tiny icon here, which you see the Play Store, it tells you which of these devices can support essentially Play Store. So if you press next right now, it will ask you, and this is important, probably if you downloaded your Android Studio right now, you don't have any images for these virtual devices downloaded. And to explain these strange numbers here and you know, which are like API levels and so on. So API level is essentially version of the Android. So if you can see, the top one is now R, which is the newest version of Android, which, you know, probably will be rolled out pretty soon. And the further you go down the line, the older the device is. So it has like an older ROM. So it looks like, you know, 2014.
Exactly.
Right? And
so
yeah, so this is it. That now the second one is ABI. What is ABI? This is essentially the platform for which processor it was compiled. So the problem is that Android devices, most of them are ARM. They use the ARM processors. Now you're running something on an Intel laptop, probably Intel. Most of that you are on Intels. So this ABI should match essentially what you have on your laptop, because then the emulation will be faster. If you try to select here some ARM processor, which you can download from the list further on, if you have downloaded more, this emulator will be very sluggish because it will try to interpret it and it will be very, very slow. So go for Intel. And then there's another thing which is very useful when installing Android Studio. So you can cancel now, don't do anything else.
right.
And please close the virtual devices.
Do you want me to bring up? Do you want me to bring up the emulator?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
If you close the here, and now go into Android Studio dependencies, and this should be this fine icon here, I believe, with can I write on the screen? Can I draw on a screen?
Yeah, go
on. How to do it? There was something. Do you guys remember how to write on a?
If you go to view options, when you're scaling your screen, it should say annotation.
Oh, view options. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have it. Okay, I have it just zoom and side by side mode.
Maybe I have to do it because I'm sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, if you look at the Android Studio that Jason has, in the right top corner, there's a number of icons. And the third from the right is this box with arrow down. And that's, I believe, is downloading the dependencies for Android Studio. So if you can click on this So please go on into the corner of Android Studio, the right corner, and the third from the right. Jason, go to the right. Go to the right.
Okay.
To the right. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, this one. Yes.
This one,
right.
yeah, the SDK. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So there's another way to get to that SDK as well. So if you just go to Tools, yeah, and then you got the SDK Manager there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's another. So that's another way to go Tools, open. SDK, yeah, and that will bring up the same. Yeah.
And now if you can select the SDK Tools tab on the screen, so you have SDK platforms, so nothing on the left bar. On the right-hand side of the screen, you have a SDK platform, but there's another tab saying SDK Tools.
So you got SDK platform, SDK tools there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see you have it here selected, this conspicuous Intel x86 emulator accelerator. And this is something which allows you essentially to run these Intel images faster. So you have to install it in order to have it, have it done. So you also can, Yeah, so
there's two things. If you have an Android phone, you can just plug it. You don't need to go through all of these steps that Suave is talking to you about now. So this is really just to get the emulator running on your desktop. Yeah. So if you have an Android phone, you can plug your Android phone into your Mac, and then whatever the emulator will do, whatever we do on the emulator, you can do on your real physical device here, So I think
there is one small trick with a real device. You have to enable it for debug. And
okay, cool. Yes, we can do that. Yeah. I can show you how to do that. Let's show them the emulator. Let's show them the emulator.
Yes,
and move on.
Let's show the emulator because we show how to. If anyone is using the real device, then we'll be able to show actually how to make it connecting to the computer. So cancel this. This was just to show you this is where this Huxm sits. Now let's try to fire AVD, our Android virtual device. We select it and
mine's already running. So I must have it. Let me find it.
You have a tiny icon on the bottom. I can see it just beside of the Android. So if you scroll to your action bar.
There it is. There, yeah. So I already have the app. So guys, let me just close that quickly, and I'll do it again so that you. No, don't worry. It's quick.
Okay.
Because I'll
try to open. Because I think it's gonna. It saves the state.
It saved the state. It saves the state.
Yeah.
So this is when you start the emulator, guys. You'll actually get a real Android phone running on your desktop. And this is where you can do your development. So any changes that you make, you'll see in the emulator. So this is where we want to get you to today, on your Mac and on your Windows as well. Okay.
So since you are here, can you tap on the circle icon on the bottom of the emulator? So on the bar, on the navigation. But this one, yes. So this is what you see when you start, and if you scroll down, now please select Settings, and this is Settings. So this is almost the last icon in the tap Settings. And now scroll to the bottom.
Sorry.
So it's a bit tricky.
It's a bit tricky.
Simulating, now System, not Google, System.
Sorry. The emulator is a lot slower than your real phone.
Yes. So, and now I believe go to Advanced. And where is it?
What are you looking for?
So what I'm looking for is that there should be somewhere to enable your system, your phone to be a development phone. So let me quickly check it on my phone.
So if you
I'm
have,
gonna show you.
guys,
I'm gonna show you what I'm doing on my phone right now. So yeah, let's go to the. But there should be somewhere. Where's my camera? About the phone. Can you see it? About the phone. So I'm gonna tap about the phone, and now there's this magic, very magic, build number on the bottom. And what you have to do on the phone is tap it very quickly, a couple of times, like I think 5 times, until you tell us now you are a developer.
Yeah.
Right, before that you were not developer. So essentially what will allow
only on a physical, that's only on a physical phone. So you don't have to do it on the emulator. Yeah,
no, emulator is already unlocked, right? But essentially the physical phone has a essentially guard that no one actually connects to it from the external source when you try to, let's say, charge it from your laptop. So essentially it has this bridge closed and doesn't allow you to connect it. And this trick, which I showed you right now, with a build number tapped like 5 times very quickly until it tells you now you are a developer. This enables essentially your computer connect to the phone, upload the applications to it so you can essentially run them on a real device, right? So that's essentially this tiny trick that you have to do with real devices. So, okay, we have...
So let's now show them how to run Flutter app, yeah? So I'm going to delete my Flutter app, yeah?
Or maybe, you know, I suggest I'm going to start to share my screen now. I'm going to create the project and we will go through the sample, right? Because I think this will be, okay. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen now.
Can I just jump in quickly? Because obviously you started with all of this focused on the Mac with a promise to go through the Windows install, right? Now, before you do, maybe it's worth just touching base. A bunch of people joined us since we started.
That's very thoughtful. As I forgot.
Just touch base with everyone who's joined us.
Let's do the same trick for us. Okay.
So before you do, guys, please just check with the audience whether we need to. We don't need to go through the Windows setup with them. Let's jump into the next stage.
Yeah. So please tell me if you need Windows setup. Do you have any problems with Windows to make it run? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. I don't see many hands. I don't see any hands.
I don't see any hands either.
Yeah, so probably Windows is less, you know.
Well,
yeah.
We've got one. We've got Janet.
Yeah.
We've got Janet.
All right. Let's quickly do Windows. First of all, before you jump to Windows, you need to just do Flutter run. You need to just do create, Flutter create my app and then Flutter run on Mac. Yeah, just to show them how to do that. Swap.
Yeah. So now I have a confusing request. So should I show actually this one or should I go and?
It's because basically I already had the app installed on my emulator. So you want to get people. You need to show people how to create that Flutter folder because we've done that, and then obviously Flutter run as well. Yeah.
Okay. Let me collapse. So quickly, let's create some Flutter app. So ls. I'm using PowerShell here. So I'm gonna. So you're creating Flutter app by essentially typing anywhere in your system where you want to keep essentially your source. For me, is C drive work source, Flutter create, and this new Flutter project. Important thing: you only use lower cases and underscores, probably numbers. No hashes, no other symbols than underscore are allowed. And the moment you type this will actually build. So all the Apple fanboys, now you can run your, play with your app. I'm going to help Windows people.
Yeah, cool. And no, just Suave, just do one more thing. Just cd into the directory and just do Flutter run as well.
Okay. So
CD.
my new, yes. So Flutter run, probably it's gonna complain because I don't have a device connected. Yeah, no device is connected. So I would have to essentially start some emulator to do it. It would be you here, emulator. No.
Do you want me to just quickly share and I'll just quickly show them?
Yes, please do it.
Yeah.
I think I know why I cannot. Yeah, stop share.
Yeah, sharing. So guys, can you see my screen? Yeah. Can everybody see my screen or?
I believe so. Yes.
All right, cool. So so the commands that Suave just run is Flutter create my app. So Flutter create my app, as you show, will actually just download all of the dependencies that Flutter needs to set up your project. My app can be anything. That is just the name of your app that you're going to put on that you're going to put eventually on the App Store, and the name of the app so you could put Flutter create Jason, Flutter create Jermaine, Flutter create Suave, and it will create the app with that name. Yeah, you cd into the folder that you've just created, because Flutter will create a folder for you. And then when you run Flutter run, what that does is, so I'm going to just go into the directory and show you what I mean. So if I go to into development, in here I've got my app. So if I go into my app, yeah, guys, in here, this is the result of create Flutter. This is the result of Flutter create my app. You've got this folder. What you can do is you can do Flutter devices. Now, if you do Flutter devices, Flutter will look at your computer and tell you what devices you've got connected. So I've got my phone here connected, my phone, and I've also got the emulator connected. Yeah. So then I can do Flutter run. Yeah. And if I do Flutter run, it will complain, first of all. And the reason it will complain is because I've got two devices connected and it doesn't know which device I should copy, I should load the app to. Should I do it to the emulator or should I do it to the phone? But as you can see, it's got this option -d all, yeah, which means that you can load it on all devices. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Flutter run -d all, yeah, and this will now install this Flutter app on my emulator, and it will also install it on my phone as well. So it's running. It takes a little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time on the beginning for the first time, because it has to compile the download all the dependencies for building Android app first.
Did you see that? It's already put it on the emulator, and this is what Suave's going to show you. So that is the thing. So it's done it on the emulator, and it's done it on my phone. And this is a very simple app that when you click it, it just increments the button. And every time you click it, you can see that the Flutter, it's doing stuff, yeah? And guys, just to show you that I'm not lying, you can see it's actually on my phone as well. And if I click it, you can see the React. So this is our first app, yeah? We've done the setup to get all of the Flutter dependencies on the Mac. Yeah, we've configured Android Studio, and then we've actually run the app. So it's on the emulator and on our devices as well. Yeah, okay. So now we're going to move on to Windows. Now we're going to move on to Windows and do the exact same thing.
Yes, because Janet is waiting, and yeah, I don't want to keep Janet.
So you can take over now.
Yes.
Can we just do a quick run through for Windows? Janet said she's already installed it all.
Yeah.
Just wants to be sure that she's done it correctly.
Yes. So so on Windows, the main difference is that the way you the way you set up paths is different. So in the search, can you see my search bar in Windows? I type environment variables, and I'm opening this control panel, and this is environment variables panel. So you see here, I'm already, busy. I've added new variables for myself. This is Android home, so I can find my Android studio. This is my Flutter home when my Flutter is. And then in the path, if I look at it here, I have my folder where the Flutter is, and I also have my command line tools. The reason why I have command line tools here is because I've installed the command line tools before I installed Android Studio. They are not necessary if you downloaded Android Studio first, right? So this is not necessary, but this is how you set up this export path kind of thing from Mac. This is how you do it on Windows. So this is the whole thing. And now to be able to actually see if something is set up correctly, you have to run PowerShell, for example, and then try to run Flutter. And this means that you see I'm in my own folder, user schoolie, and it's running the command. It can find it, but the way the place where this command is, it's actually in a root folder. Sorry, not work. Yes, and then tools, and this is where my Flutter and Android and OpenJDK is. So you see, I'm able to run the command in any folder. So, Janet, does it solve everything for you? What you want to know about it? You muted.
It does, yeah. So my command prompt isn't finding Flutter, but I'm gonna go change my path and see if that helps. But you can move on, and I'll continue in the background.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it is important to point it not to the Flutter folder, but Flutter bin, because this is where the binaries sit. So I'm going to show it again. Settings. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Where is my properties? Here, environment variables. I'm going to minimize zoom because it's just getting in the way. Come on. Open the windows. So you see the Flutter bin. So whatever you have before, it doesn't matter. It has to be /Flutter/bin on the end and no more slashes after that. That's the idea, right? And okay, so we can assume that we can run the Flutter app right now. I mean, we can compile something which is supposed to land on the device. The thing is that on this computer, I don't know if I'll be able to actually run the emulator because I've set it up.
Suave, I'll join from my Windows machine as well, and then I can, because I've got it running on there as well.
Yeah, let me just I'm gonna try. No, okay, I don't have it here. Okay, so probably I'll be so I'll be going on a dry here. I'm gonna switch to my Mac machine. So what do you prefer? Because I can.
You carry on your Mac, and I'll just join the call with my Windows, and then we can.
Okay, cool. So now we can actually go and start start creating our project. As I've mentioned, you do it in the command line. Let's go to my work and into my sources, and here I will create. Okay, I think, yeah. I will create a new project. So again, Flutter, create new Flutter project 2. Yeah, so just for memory, this is how you create a new project. As I said, all lower cases, underscores, and you should be fine. You see a lot of files created here. Some of them are for macOS, or sorry, for iOS. So you can see the runner here folder. And now what I'm going to do is to get a Visual Studio Code. Now, you probably downloaded Visual Studio Code, or you didn't. Do you have? Does anyone not have Visual Studio Code installed? Yeah, if you don't have it, then you just search it, right?
Do you want me to share?
Okay, so download, I have for Windows, you will have for Macs, and so on. You download this thing, and it's simple. It's a executable in your downloads folder. You double click it. Do I have it here somewhere? Yeah, Visual Studio Code. It looks like this. If you double click it, you install, and the first time you install, you go to this nice place, which is called extensions. And as Jason was pointing out, actually you need a plugin as well. Yeah, so you select Flutter and you do install. I have an uninstall and disable because mine is installed. It also installs Dart automatically for you. So that's it. Now, so this is Visual Studio Code, and normally when Visual Studio Code starts, it actually tells you something like, yeah, open folder to go to your first place. Any more things on the chat? Okay, that's not for me. Okay, so open folder, and we go and select our projects, right? So we select this project. pubspec YAML is the file which defines your project. It is all nicely defined here. You have all these explanations here for what these parameters mean. What is important in YAML file is that you have to keep the indentation correctly. So indentation is always 2 spaces and you do something. So essentially, if I add here 1 space, this won't be correct YAML file. So indentation here is paramount. You have to keep it as it is and you know, organize. You have these tiny gray lines to help you with it, so it doesn't get you know, it's easier to actually keep this in order. So what you see here is the name of the project, description, publish. We don't publish yet. Versions, environment. Now the dependencies, so Flutter, the SDK itself. We have a Cupertino icons, which are iOS icons, but we don't really use it. There are some assets which are commented out. We don't use them. Assets are essentially like a static files, binary files, maybe sounds, maybe maybe pictures, vectors that allow you would like to use in your application later on, and so on. So this is a very basic thing. Now, these other files here are created. This file is created. You don't touch it. You don't do anything. This one is for git ignore already, to like essentially ignore the folders which shouldn't be committed to the git when you start to use git. And now you see the project's folders. So test, this is where your test will be. We won't look at it yet. We have two wrappers, Android and iOS. So we've seen before the one for Android. So the app, the Gradle file, some sources. We don't care about it because we won't be touching it. And this is our entire Flutter app. So again, you see a lot of comments. So yeah, I'm gonna try to remove the comments because I really get lost in them. So I'm gonna try to use my, this is something, no, actually, if I will be, no, I won't be able to do this here, I believe. Don't try this because it may fail. No, it didn't work. Okay. I've tried to essentially remove all the comments from it, but they are very annoying and actually they obscure what is in it. So this is the main application, main Dart file which start the application. You see the run app. This is the command which runs your application. This is your application. Flutter application consists of widgets. There are plenty of them. There are different shapes and sizes and different functions. But everything in the end is a widget. So essentially, if you want to create something new, some new button, some new screen, it always will be some kind of widget you're creating. And my application itself is also a widget. So it's like this, Russian baby doll that you have one inside another, and that's what it is. So another thing important in the widget is the build command method. The build method is the method which should return what this widget should look like or do, essentially what it should look like, regardless of what is currently on the screen. The way the Flutters will work is that it will constantly run this build method when it has to redraw the application and check what it returns. And what it returns is some kind of widget. So material app is a widget, which has other widgets, like, for example, it has this homepage widget, which does some other stuff. So you see, it's always widget within a widget. And this is why Flutter is so easy to essentially grasp, is because you only have to figure out what to put inside this method to represent to show on the screen what you want to represent. There are no other ways of finding some places in the UI. So you always like create a snapshot of what you want to have, and this should actually show on the screen. You don't care about anything else. The render engine should actually do it for you. So what you see here is that you have a material app, and this is what will turn the widget to look like a material app. Material is a design language for Androids, not only for Android, but it's created by Google. So we're gonna stick with this one. It says that primary swatch is blue, and then it says home, and home is essentially a child of this widget, which will be hosted. So essentially, this widget defines the theme in which you will actually, show something, and this one, this widget will render something in this theme. So you see, this is the common pattern. There will be always some widget hosting specific data for something that other widgets down the tree will use. So what you see here is, okay, this is the widget. This is how it is defined. This is the class. And it takes some parameter called title. And we will now look into this. We'll look into this my home page. So it says stateful widget, and what it means, what is different from the stateless. The stateless widget has a build command, and this returns how the widget should look like. which means that the application will run it once, and it returns this, widget, which is material app, and it considers it done. So if you want to do any change for the stateless widget, you have to essentially have completely new instance with a new parameter coming to actually do it. Stateful widget, on the other hand, it doesn't have a build command, but what it has is the create state command, which essentially creates some state. And what the state has a build method, which again does the widget. So what does it really mean? That this means that effectively all the widgets are like immutable in Flutter, but some of them have a state which can be mutable, which means it can change and represent something else. So my widget, the home page widget, won't change much, but when my state will change, it will run the build command, and it will essentially rebuild this scaffold, up bar, text, center, column, and so on every time the state has changed. So, okay, the question is, what is the state? State is all the data that you want to have in your app, which will gonna essentially changes its value over time, and you would like to signify this in some in some reaction on the screen that actually show that the state has changed. And for doing this, the state class has a method called setState, and this method takes another method as a parameter, and every time you will run the setState with this method, something will happen. Like, for example, here the counter will be increased, and when the counter is increased, also after this method executes, after what it happens, this build method is run again with a new state. So let's see what is happening here. Let's delete all these comments, and I will explain you how the Flutter works here. And we will try to run it. Yeah, pretty.
So, do you want people to follow along as well, make the same changes as you? Yeah.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do edit these files, remove the comments, and now now the important part. So let's let's explain what this state actually will have. One thing of notice, look that here the widget has, when it has fields like this one, title, which is passed from the parameter of the constructor, it has a keyword final here, which means it cannot change. Once it's set, it won't change. This is something called immutable. So you set it once and it will stay there forever. So if you want to have a My Home page with a different title, you have to create a new instance of a My Home page and pass a different title. There's no other way to change the title. But as we said, we want to have something which is changing. So this is the state. And now in the state, we have only just int, which is integer, the number.
Suave, can we play? Can we play?
I don't know if we can play because
can we play?
We
want to play. Let's change some stuff. Come on, Suave.
I need to plug my phone or or create an emulator for this. On this one. Yes, this is why I was thinking about jumping to my MacBook. Android Studio. Let me quickly check if I have emulators here. If not, then I'm gonna jump on my MacBook Pro, okay? Because I believe I was using this only for my no devices. Let's quickly check. create a new device. Yeah, let's get Pixel.
Yeah, it'll work. It'll work.
Whoa, I need to download.
Should be quick.
Okay, should be. Depends on your connection. So okay, let it download.
Hey, Suav, just a quick
Yeah.
one. I noticed you're switching a lot between Android Studio and Visual Studio. Maybe you
Yes.
want to explain to all the folks at home why that is and what's the difference between the two.
So I like to keep Android Studio for Android, Xcode for iOS, and Visual Studio Code for Flutter. And the reason for this is that even if you are in Android Studio, I cannot show you currently now because I'm downloading. Essentially, you cannot have a like two perspective in Android Studio to have a Flutter project and then the second one to have an Android project. So I'm using the separate IDEs if I want to essentially tweak something in Android wrapper, and Xcode for iOS wrapper, and then Visual Studio Code. This is one. So I'm simply alt tabbing through these three IDEs, and my work setup is essentially my laptop plus 2 monitors, and I have a Visual Studio here in the front, Android Studio, Xcode, and I'm happy, right? So, but you can simulate this by simply jumping between them, and this is why you do this a lot. But most of your work happens here, right? Most of your work will happen in the Visual Studio Code. So yeah, it is downloading, but yeah, it's gonna take a while.
It's gonna take a while. Can you? Do you want me to share? And I don't know if it will work.
Yes.
Can you share and you talk? Yeah. Let me join again.
Yeah.
We're gonna have.
You can show your sample. Yeah, you can show your sample.
Let me join the meeting again.
If you try to run this app as it is right now on your emulator. Whoops. Okay. So now you have some state already. So yeah. So what you see here is that every time Jason will push the plus button, it will change the state, and because we run this counter plus plus method inside the set state, it will force Flutter to refresh the widget with a new value of the state. So this means that this part of the you have been pushed so many times, and the counter will be updated. Yeah. So this is what it does. Let me see. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to show actually on running this. So I'm gonna take back the sharing. Jason, we can't hear you, by the way. So probably you don't have a mic on your Windows.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
can you hear me now?
Can hear you.
All right, good. Right, so what do you want me to change, Suave, or are you taking back control?
I'm almost there with installing hacks for my.
Okay.
Sorry for that. I was using something called screen copy, SRCP, which essentially shares the mobile phone, but it stopped working.
So Suave, if I was to change, if I was to change this text here, what would happen? If I was to change,
yeah, you can change this text, and now you have to reload.
and how do I read?
But you've changed this in your. Did you run this from your Android Studio?
No, I ran it from here. I ran it from here, from my terminal.
No, you won't. You are not running this in your terminal. Probably Visual Studio Code or something. Or this app already runs by itself, and it's I think you haven't compiled it.
Okay.
This is
so
old. This is the old app. So if you
so
if you do Flutter, Flutter run.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do Flutter run.
Yeah.
So it's gonna compile this. It may lose the state.
Which is fine. Which is fine. But I just want to show people that actually, if you change it here, and you run it, it will change what it's displaying. Yeah. So hopefully that text should change. Yeah.
So the text will change. The text will change, but it's the whole point of this is that you run your application constantly, and you're changing this text, and then you hot reload the application, and this hot reload is almost instant. It's around less than 1 second. So you can very quickly do the changes and see how they are actually appearing. So did it finish?
No, it's still running. My Windows machine is much slower than my Mac.
Yeah, I should be. Oh, I can see my emulator running.
Oh, good. You can take control then.
Yeah, I can take over. So yes, I'm taking over. Share screen. Yay! So that's my new acquired emulator. And this is Android Studio I don't need for anything, and I don't need this either. And now I'm gonna try to run this application, so I can start debugging, launching. I wonder if it's gonna actually run, because I'm doing this for the first time on this emulator, and I haven't downloaded any dependencies for it. So strange things may happen. But yeah, I think it's building something. So we are.
Yes. So mine is up now, and then if I press R, will it just hot reload? Yeah.
Yeah. So so this is what is confusing. Currently, Android emulator keeps the state of the application. So essentially, the moment you terminate it, you press the X, it like screenshots entire system. And so if you had an app on it, it will gonna stay in the way it was there. So when you bring your emulator back, your app is already running, but it is actually the previous app you run yesterday or whatever. It's not the new run. So you have to stop this app, start it again, and have it essentially fresh one. Because what you want to get is that there is a direct connection between your IDE and debug bridge and the emulator. So it can control the app and upload these changes as you're doing them in the code, so you can see the results directly on the screen. So my Gradle task is running. So you see it is essentially building the Android application. It says the running Gradle task assemble debug. Assemble debug is the target for building Android applications. So now it is essentially fetching all the, okay, it finished. It says build output. This is what it created APK. And this APK, never ask. I don't want to see it. Okay, for now. So you see, now I have a console here showing me what is happening inside the application. And I press I press this. Actually, it doesn't show anything here on the console right now because I don't really print anything to the console. But you can see I'm changing the state by adding plus. So just back to the code to explain what is really happening. Our floating button is this, and on pressed. So this is the parameter of this floating button. So when you press it, run this method. The underscore signifies here that this is private member. This means that essentially this method can be used anywhere outside the class. This is our method. And our method says set state. And inside this, there is another unnamed method, this one. It ends here. Yeah, this is the method, which essentially says increase the counter by 1. So every time I'll be pressing it, it will increase the counter. Now I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna change this plus plus into minus minus. Yeah. And now you see that my IDE that already reloaded the code. So when I start to press the button, it starts to go down. So see, I've changed the code on the fly on the living app, and now it actually counts down to 0 or even minus. Nothing stops it. So you see, now we have an app running. So just to explain it again, we have a button, it has a handler. This handler reacts on press. So the moment I press it, this is when it actually reacts. It has some child here with an icon saying add. So this is this tiny plus. I can also change it if I want to and do, let's say, AC unit. I don't know what it is. Okay, let's see it. Okay, this is AC unit. Okay, cool. It's very cool, actually. Okay, so this is this button. It starts the method. Method says set the state by decreasing the counter. So this decreases the counter, and when this method finishes, the Flutter says, okay, I have to run the build again, and it builds it again. And then when it comes to build the text fields for this, so we have 2 text fields here, one, and this is another. The one on top says you have pushed the button this many times, and the second one says put me the number of the counter here inside the string. This is how I signify that I want to use the variable counter. You see it's in blue. This is the counter. It will be printed inside the string. So every time I'm pressing and I'm refreshing the view, causing this to be rebuilt and the counter updated. So this is how it works. So my question is, how are we with time? Because I would like to go further now. And are you guys, you know, happy to go deeper into Flutter now and see some stuff, how it is created? Are you up for it?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
okay.
go. Let's.
So
let's. We want to play as well. We want to play.
So let's. Yeah. So this is, you know, it's, you know, being someone talking about Flutter is a hard job because actually it's very difficult to explain it until you actually start doing things. So let me start to do things here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this stateful widget, this one, and create it as a stateless. Less. And now you see that it actually complains that it doesn't have a method. It doesn't have a method. It needs a method, which is the build method. And now I can essentially grab this build method from here, from my state, and this is what I'll be doing. I'm taking this entire method from the state, and putting it here. Yeah, I'm getting rid of the state. I don't need the state. And now I have to do a couple of things. I have to remove my floating button. I won't need it anyway. I will remove this counter thing.
Right, Suave.
Yes.
What I want you
Yeah.
to do, Suave. What I want you
Yeah.
to do is I want you to tell the audience what feature we're adding, yeah, and why we're doing it.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do right now is to trying to like make this sample even simpler than it is, because currently I want to have stateless widget similar to this one, which only shows the scaffold with some static text. So let's see how it looks right now. Okay, this is how it looks. It doesn't look very different, but the thing is that instead of having the stateful widget with the state, which changes, I have a stateless widget, right? So that's the first thing I will like to do here. The second thing is that, you know, I'm gonna try to build some app with a nice list that we're gonna populate with something, let's say with names, and some collapsible header, maybe, if we have time for this. And this will be, yeah, this will be actually showing how we structure the layout and, you know, what you can get from all these strange widgets here, what they really do and how to operate with them. So first thing, I'm gonna get rid of my up bar because I don't like it. So I'm removing this parameter completely from the scaffold, and you see it's gone. Nice. Yeah. Now, now I don't know. Yeah, let's do the list view here. So let's go get rid of this and do the list view. List view builder. Oh, my wife is giving foods to dogs. Momo and Flutter. These are my dogs. Yes. Okay, and there is Flutter there. Yeah. Okay. So what this will do? This will be a list. So the number of items, and this constructor. This is something called name constructor in Dart. It consumes the builder, and the builder is a method which essentially sends, I believe, context and index. I don't know if in this order. I may be wrong. And what it has to return is some widget. Yeah. So let's go and check if I'm mistaken or not, if I actually made them opposite. So I'm gonna control click on the builder, and here we go. So yeah, required parameter item builder. This is the parameter I'm actually using. So I'm gonna check it. So it takes the context and the index. Okay, so I was right. So first context, then the index, right? So here it is. The item builder is a method. So I'm essentially putting here the list, which will, every time the builder, the list view will be asked to build a new item, is going to run this method with a different index, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, passing the context, and every time it's going to add essentially text with an A in it. I wonder if it, oh, it looks already. Can you see the A's here? Kind of small ones. Yeah, but there are A's here. You know what? Let's make it bigger. Style. Theme of context. And now text theme. No, text theme. Ouch. Text theme. And I want to have a like body one. Yeah, maybe caption, something bigger. Yeah, headline 4. Let's see. Yeah, now it's pretty. You can see now big A's, right? So now I've done Shift Alt F, and on each platform it will be different combination of keys. But essentially, check here in Command Palette where is format document. Shift Alt F on Windows. This formats documents. Now, Dart likes to have everything with a trailing commas, so it can format even better. You see, so now this is not nicely formatted. Let's add more here. Now this is nicely formatted. You start to see something I call the big V. This big V is gonna get bigger and bigger as we go for. So you see, this is the list. And interestingly, it's unlimited. It just, you can scroll it forever until the essentially phone or emulator runs out of memory. Yes. So let's not be so hasty and set the item count like 10 and see how it looks. Okay. So here we go. We have 10 items, or maybe more. Yeah. Okay. It's more. Cool. So
can I just, Suave, can I just jump in there a bit?
Yeah.
The reason, I just want to say something functionally, yeah, because the reason why Suave is starting with a widget, which is a list, is because lists pretty much are in every single app, yeah? Every app that you can think of probably has a list in some way, shape, or form. And the reason it is because we as application developers always need to display, we always need to show lists of data, whether it be to be a to-do list or list of users or list of TV programs, which we're going to come on to later in series 3. We always need to display data. So lists are one of the most sort of, I would call one of the most well-used and generic forms in any type of language. So it's good to start off with a list. So what we're trying to do is show you, look, this is technically how you do it, but functionally, this is something that you will use a lot. So this is something that you need to bear in mind when you're building code as application developers, guys, that you will always need to use constructs like these. Yeah, sorry to jump in there. Go on, Scott.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, on this note, on the end of this session, remind me to tell you about my favorite app which doesn't have lists in it. Yeah. Okay. So we have lists, and as you can see, so every time we essentially inflate, we ask to run another element in the list, it passes another index for it. So we start with 0. We're supposed to have 12 of them, so we finish on 11th, right? And that's it. And this thing is smart enough, so when it gets bigger, it automatically scrolls. So I don't know if you can see, this is Android scroll here. I don't really like it. I like the iOS one. Scroll physics, yeah. It would be bouncing scroll physics. Can I do it like this? Yeah, now I have a like iOS. Cool. Yeah, I really don't like the Android one. So I've just copied this from iPhone and I have it. So this is bouncing scroll physics. Okay, so you know what? Let's create some data that we'll be putting into this text fields and you know, see how can we fit it. So I'm gonna create another file and I'm gonna call it data.dart, and this data will have a specific format. So it'll be class user, and this will be final string first name, final string last name. As you can see, it complains. Why? Because I said final, but I'm not allowing to set it in any way. And it says final variable must be initialized. So I have to have the way to set it. So the way to essentially do something with it is this: create a constructor. So now I've created a constructor which will set these fields, and they're gonna be there. I also will make it that actually they are named constructor. This is why I'm putting this extra curly brackets. But what curly brackets also means that they are optional, and I don't want these to be optional. So I'm gonna add require annotation. It complains doesn't have it. I have to import the foundation. So here I have an import package Flutter foundation. This is when this annotation. What is annotation? Annotation is kind of like an extra metadata, extra data added to notify the compiler about the fact that something has to be checked or done. And in this case, why I don't have it? Okay. In this case, essentially, I'm saying, compiler, every time I create a user, please make sure that I pass a first and a last name. Required. Yeah, so now every time I will be trying to create a new user and I skip the field, it will say, no, 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 this is not good. Please add something. And now I will create my data. So this will be final data, and it will be an array of users. And I'm gonna do user, and the first name will be, of course, Jason. Yeah. What's your surname?
Halstead. H-A-L.
H-A-L.
S-T-E-A-D.
E-A-D.
D. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. And okay, and this should be named parameter as well. So it'll be last name. Yeah, that's it. Now, what I love about Dart is that you can leave trailing commas everywhere. So I'm gonna now do a lot of JSONs inside this list because I'm pretty quick. Yeah, so I pasted the same list here, the same entry into the list, and this is my data. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import this entire file. Import data Dart, and first thing we're gonna change something here. So we're gonna add here data of index. Oh, sorry. I have to put a curly brackets here because I'll be doing essentially more complex. I won't be accessing the variables directly. I will be essentially doing some extra fiddling around. So this is why I need the data of index. So I'll be accessing the specific index. I'm gonna have the first name, and then I'm gonna do the space and do another one for data of index of last name. So what should we see? We should see first name and the last name with a space between them. Yay. Cool. Yay. So that's it. Now, there's 23 of them because we said that. I don't know if this is 23. So we're going to change the item count to be data length. Guys, do you hear the background? My wife speaking. Should I close the door? No, it's good. Okay, no. So I have a tiny mic. That's good. Yeah, I'm used to my condenser mic, which hears my neighbors speaking in a kitchen. So it's, you know, that's why I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now I have exactly the number of items here, which are in the data array, right? So in this data array, I don't know how many. I have from 11 to 34. So it will be like 23.
23.
Oh, okay. This is why it was happening. So okay, let's do something crazy. Let's do 50. Yeah, I want to do 50. Boom. Ooh, what happened? Yeah, so range error, index, invalid. Value is not range 0 to 23, inclusive 24. So essentially, I've tried to build 24th member of the list.
But it's not.
And I looked into the data, and it's I don't have a 24th JSON. There's no more JSONs. So it didn't know what to do, and it showed me this error, right? So now I'm gonna set it back to data length. So it is precisely as the number of JSONs in the list. Cool. We have it now, this. So I feel this text is a bit too big, but you know what? There is a nice widget for adding stuff into the list. It's called list style. So I'm gonna wrap it. So what I'm going to do now, watch me very carefully. I'm doing like on the laptop, I'm doing the double tap to do the essentially right click, refactor, and now wrap with the widget. Okay. And what it does, it creates like a dummy name, so it doesn't know what widget, but it assumes that there will be a child of this widget, which is the text. And the thing is that this time actually it won't be a child, it will be something else. But yeah, list tile. Okay, it doesn't like the child. So what does it like? List. Okay, so list tile likes leading, title, subtitle, trailing. So this is essentially the widget which is usually seen in the list, like in your contact list. So it has a leading element and it has a title. Title. Now, okay. Doesn't look like much difference, but it added some padding. I also think that our body is too big. Our theme is too big, so I'm going to switch to body text 1. Yeah, that starts to look pretty okay. Maybe a bit bigger. No, it's thinner. Okay, let's keep it like this for now. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to create like a circular icon with initials, like you have it in your, you know, user or calendar, not a calendar,
WhatsApp.
address link or WhatsApp, whatever. Yeah. So leading, and we're gonna do text, and this text will be very funny because we'll have to do something like this, but strip the I forgot that I use Vim and I tried to, you know, do not Vim copy. It's okay. Yes, and I'm passing this inside. Yeah, so this will be the full name, but I'm gonna just get a substring from 0 to 1, I believe. I think. I'm not sure. And then substring from 0 to 1, which means give me only the substring from the string first name, which starts with 0, is 1 long, I believe. So let's check it. Start index and index. Okay. So this is essentially, if I start from 1 and 2, then probably would give me the second. So it's not the length, it's actually end index. So this should give me essentially 1 character. So yeah, you have a nice initials here. You can see it. Yeah. So
should we get rid of,
So
should we get rid of the space in between?
I Actually,
in between
because
K
you
and
know
H?
what? I wanna make it very fluffy. I wanna make it this circle field. Okay.
All right, go on then.
So okay, again, refactor, wrap this time with container. I'm gonna wrap it with a container, and the reason why I'm wrapping this with a container is because containers can have decorations. I think decoration, and it was circle round. No.
Suave, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The IntelliSense that you're doing, is that only available in Visual Code, or is it available also in Android Studio?
I believe so in both. I don't know to which extent, because they are effectively two different plugins.
I can tell you for sure, I've been trying to follow along with the rest of the audience. It's definitely IntelliSense in Android Studio.
Yeah, so you know, because it is mostly based on, these suggestions are based on length, and essentially length recommendations are for a language, for a tool, for a platform, not for a tool. So essentially it inherits this from length, and it like tells you, okay, this is the int should go here, or you haven't closed the bracket, or something like that. So they should be fully supported. Yeah. Okay. I think it was shape border, maybe, or shape decoration.
I believe it's box decoration.
It should be shape decoration.
Box
decoration.
It can be, but I can have a shape, and then the shape will be a round shape. Something shape.
Come on, Jermaine.
Which one? Box
Which
shape?
one, Jermaine?
No. Let me check.
I'm familiar with the box decoration.
Shape decoration. Circle border. Circle border.
Suave. Let's try box decoration.
After this one.
All right.
Maybe color. Can I have a color here? Color X FF 0000. So this is full opaque red. Yay, very small one. Okay. What was your suggestion to do? What box decoration? Jermaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's also the other approach. And
box decoration and border. Oh no, this is border radius, box shadow, border.
So you can set a color.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do color first. Color. OX F00. Ouch. 0000. And shape. Box shape circle. Yeah, it does. Does the same thing. Yeah, does the same thing. Now, it's kind of small, isn't it? Right? So you like to keep it, make it bigger. So how can I make it bigger? Again, refactor, padding. Oh no, this is outside. Refactor, remove widget. This one. Yeah. Should I padding? Yeah, I should pad the context, the contents of padding. Okay, so I've added padding, edge insets 8. Yeah, look, professional.
Wow.
Yeah, we have it. Good.
So Jason Halstead.
So many. Yeah.
It's
Okay. Yeah. So no, and as I said, you can play with it and actually figure out the proportions. You know, the way you like it. So you go with this. So
do we
conscious
have any
of time. Yeah.
Do we have any questions
Yeah.
about
Exactly.
what we've covered and what Suave is taking you guys through?
I don't have questions now, but I know I will when I start building offline and you and Suave aren't there on hand to answer them. But I guess for the start of the next session, we can go through any troubleshooting I come across.
Yeah. So yeah, please share me your Slack. I'm gonna join, and you have any questions to me or Roberta, we can answer these questions and help you. You know, we can even pair code, you know, if with some time constraints, if it's possible, or just, you know, find you the answer straight away where to look. So yeah, no problem at all. So yeah, we've done this simple, you know, simple layout here. But I think it's still kind of bit boring. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check something here on my other screen. Custom scroll. Yeah, so I was thinking about actually get crazy and change this code to use the custom scroll view, not the list view, and add slivers inside, and this will allow us to do much more with this list. So
can we do things like add a separator as well, Suave?
Yes, and question how. So that's the thing, that I would have to essentially modify this method here to return the different member when you want to put a separator in the list. So it's not like a straightforward, right? So essentially, I would have to abstract this as the function, right? Up to here. Yes, this is the function. And in this function, do the statement essentially, okay, if my index is 15 or modulo 15, then add another element to this container to have a separator.
Could you not
right?
just?
So,
could you not?
Okay,
not
let me try do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have there is a request, so I'm gonna try to do it now.
Okay. Could you also put a decorator around the container? Just decorate the container with a line at the top.
Yeah, but this will decorate every single one. Do you want to have?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I want a separator for each item.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can, yeah.
Yeah, but this would have to be actually around the entire element. So you're asking this to be around every single one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's easier because I can still do it here, because I can do here border, I believe. And this will be decoration. What was it? Was also box decoration?
Jermaine?
Box decoration, and you can specify your border.
Yeah, border, box, border. Uh-oh. No? What parameter goes here? Box border. And box border can be bottom, top. Yes, I can do bottom, let's say. So box border. And can I do? Why it has strange parameter like title? Am I looking at the right thing? No, that's context index title. Show me this box border. Abstract class shape border, box border, border side. So I cannot actually create here the.
Yeah, it could be the IntelliSense. So if you see, if you can type bottom, if you start typing bottom, does it appear?
And it was
also
what?
if you
It was
change
border side,
border
yeah.
side, yeah.
Yeah, border side. Border side.
Everybody, that was Roberta. She will be taking our next session on state management.
Yeah, the parameter is not out.
If you assign border side to, so for border, if you place box border with border side.
Okay. Again, box border inside the border side.
Here's the thing, I think sometimes if you forget, because it's easy to forget, if you hover over box decoration.
Yeah.
So this is a tip for everyone because we forget all the time.
Yeah. So box
and
border.
Then you're able to see what what type of parameters are accepted. So
there's a shape, there's a box border. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do box border, right?
Yeah, so you can see box border.
Border.
And if you hover over box border.
And abstract. So it has to be
it's an
specific.
abstract class. So that means that you can't use box border directly. You can only use classes that extend from box border.
Extend it, yeah.
Yeah.
Use border to decide borders, box border.
I believe there's one called
so normally
border.
if you click inside box border,
shape border,
then you should be able at the top, it will tell you what types, what classes
extended.
So your options are, so Swav, if you move your mouse away, so that they can see. Cool. You got border side, rounded rectangle border, circle border, or box decoration. So what you want to do is if you use border side. So if you copy, let's copy border side. I think we can use border side because it extends
Does
box.
it? No.
Yeah. Oh, so go back.
I don't know how to go back here. I know
yeah.
how to do it in Android Studio.
Okay, it's
you go back, no, go back. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see this is shape border, right? And I don't see.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Scroll up.
Yeah, so this is abstract. So just for clarification, because we're using funny words that people may not understand. So abstract class is the class that you cannot use directly, but you can extend to do something. And what I'm trying to find is the class which essentially extends it. Find all references. Yay. Okay. Use this abstract class, constant border, add, static, lerp, a, box decoration. Border. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see any classics.
Jermaine, did you suggest something? Is there a?
I'm curious, is there a generic border class you can instantiate?
Yeah, probably yes.
Oh.
Yay. Done.
Yay. That's what I wanted.
That was quick.
Excellent.
That was quick. Okay, what is it? Oh, you see? It's extending. Extends box border. Perfect. Yeah. Generic border. Excellent. Good.
So
yeah,
if we had different names in that, if we had different names in that data list,
yeah,
it almost looks like a WhatsApp or something. So we could put exactly, yeah.
Good head, yes. Oh, you're right. Now question, why it doesn't change? Why it didn't change? Because we don't change the state. So imagine, look at this from this side. What you see here is application, which essentially has some binary with, you know, how to draw all these, you know, circles and write all this text and so on. And it has another pile, which is essentially a state of it. So all the things that change and essentially changing. And the only way to force it to reread the data, rebuild everything, is to use this set state method to update it. We don't do that. We don't do this. This is why I've changed the code and nothing happened, because inside this essentially phone right now, it knows that the data is still JSON and not Roberta. Now, for this, I have a restart button. And what the restart does, instead of hot reload, is that the restart will reread it will like restart from fresh. It will initialize everything from beginning. So now I'm gonna do this, and I should, oh, come on, yes, and now I see it. And this is important because you may end up in a situation that, like me before, I was changing the code in a way that state couldn't support it. So, for example, what you can, so if I, let's say, change the app currently here and change that my user has here some final, let's say, integer, random number, right? And I change all these data here. These changes won't be inside because I haven't essentially reloaded it, right? We statically use this data. This data is completely final, set on the beginning, and we don't refresh it anyway. So it in memory is just one snapshot. In memory of this device, of this phone, is just one thing, and that's it. So yeah, I've seen some question. I mean, come on, more chat. Where's chat?
Chat.
Yeah.
Get chat.
Alt H. Oh, it's hiding somewhere.
Yeah, it's underneath your participants.
All right. Time to wrap up. Okay, thank you. Oh, that's very sad. Andre, you're kicking me out. That's very sad, you know.
This is amazing. Listen, before we wrap up, I just want to make sure, has anybody got any questions that they'd like to ask about what we've covered so far?
You know what? I'm gonna before I you know, when I was preparing for this, I've essentially created the repo. I'm gonna show you right now. Yeah, so if you have a GitHub account, then just go and check it. If you don't, then create your GitHub account. GitHub is good for you. And now you can have a private free repositories. I think this one is open. You should be able to. Is it? This is open. Yeah.
Yeah. It's open.
Yeah. So this is slightly different app. I mean, in a different state. So what is important that if you look here, so maybe looking at the tags won't be easy because they might be not sorted by time here, but let's have a look here into comments. essentially each commit here is the steps that we were going through here. We are somewhere in here, yeah, and here you have more commits with changing into CustomScrollView. Yeah, so this is your homework. Yeah, I won't leave you without a homework. So I'm gonna quickly open another project. Yeah. So, okay, this one is killed. Let's build this one. Start on Pixel. Yeah, so this is what I was aiming for. And of course, it takes longer. But if you don't, you know, like do too far reach goals, then you never achieve anything because you're always underachieving because you think you can actually do less. Okay, come on, show me. Launching. Come on, launch it. So there's a couple of things here which are different. So in this app, so first thing is that I've had a safe area. So this is like essentially to have stuff not going into the bars on Android devices. So this is what the safe area. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So this is, yeah, it's much smoother on a real device. I can assure you that. And this is what the slivers are for. Then allow you to essentially do things like essentially header collapses to this state, and you can scroll the list and go down, and then when you pull it into other direction, it actually expands it. So the things of notice in this version. So I've already extracted the widget into separate ones, so they are clearer to actually to see. So you can see actually what is there. I've created this header widget, which has all this collapsing stuff in it. So yeah, I've used assets. So like I said on the beginning, then we can add assets to the project. So I've downloaded these ones. These are in a repo. So if you check it out, this code base, that you have all the stuff in it already in this state. But you can always search through Git commits to see the steps how I was building it. So if you essentially go here and go through all these steps, so this is essentially entire lesson from beginning to the end, how to build this app with all the stuff. And sorry for ripping nice picture from your website.
That's all right, Suave. This was amazing, Suave. What you've done. This was amazing. Thank you very much for leading this session for us today. It was fantastic. Right, we all need to give Suave a round of applause there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So before we leave, Roberta, do you want to give? I'm going to get both Roberta and Jermaine to just give a teaser of what's coming up in the next two sessions. So Roberta, do you want to give a little tease on what we expect to see in the next workshop?
Yeah, sure. So for the next workshop, what I want to do is just go into Flutter states in a bit more detail. So what we're going to do is we're going to explain, what are states, a little bit more going through stateful and stateless components. That's what I've touched upon today. And we're also going to be just talking about how to share state throughout your app. So the relevance of that is what we want to do is we want to be able to get data from anywhere, which Jermaine would explain more in his session. But what we want to do is we want to be able to make our components change, whether it's like change color, change image, change text, or Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be going that in more detail.
So effectively, Roberta's going to be making Suave's app look even more sexier than it is now. Yeah. So this is what we're going to do. State is all about making our apps interactive. It's all about changing what's happening in our apps. It's all about reacting. It's all about our apps reacting to when we do stuff. Yeah. So so this is a really important feature, or state management is a really important feature in app development. Yeah. So let's just switch on to Jermaine now. Jermaine, just give us a brief teaser on what you're going to take us through in session 3.
Yes, in session 3, we're going to be looking at the approaches one would take to develop in an asynchronous manner in the Dart application. So what that means is we will be looking at how we can pull in data from an external server online somewhere, and then we'll be displaying that in our app. So in a Dart application, we'll be in Dart, we have futures and streams. That's the main way of performing these asynchronous type of operations. So we'll be covering that in the basics, and then we'll be using what we've learned to create that solution where we load data from an external API and display it.
So guys, again, this is really, really important. So this is what Jermaine's going to be doing, is focusing on how your app actually interacts with the rest of the world. Yeah. So public APIs are effectively resources that are provided by other systems, and these systems are created by other companies. Yeah. So if you look at BBC, they publish APIs. ITV publish APIs. In fact, any company that you can think of probably has a public API that your app can connect to. Yeah. So this is how your app connects to the rest of the world, the rest of the digital world. So this is now bringing so with these 2 bits that we're going to add in the upcoming series, we're going to bring your app to life. We're going to make it interactive, make it sexy, and we're going to make it talk to the rest of the world. We're going to pull in data from other sources and do stuff with that data in our app. Yeah, so that's where we want to take you to. All right. Okay then, guys. So I think I'm going to just hand over to Ed now to just wrap up the day. Go on, Ed.
All right. Wow. Well, that was really quite a session. I know it's been a pretty blinding 2.5 hours. Brilliant. Really interesting beginning there, learning about the difficulties and challenges of getting your environment set up. Swab, I know it's not the most exciting subject to cover, so thank you for taking us through that, and thank you for everyone for paying attention. And then an absolute roller coaster ride through building an app. I actually got my Jason Halstead's on my screen. Screenshotted it, sent it to Jay. He's seen it, so I did. And I was doing it whilst monitoring the chat and the Eventbrite. And
all right.
So if I managed to do it, you guys can definitely do it. No, that was absolutely brilliant. We will be doing our next session as described on the 4th of August. The Eventbrite isn't up just yet. It will be up very soon. Please do keep an eye on our YouTube channel, where this entire event will be available for you guys to watch back through it. As you've seen in the chat as well, Swab's GitHub is available, and you guys can go there. You can clone, copy, submit a pull request showing where he's got it wrong, right? So there's all sorts that you can do. Please, it's been a fantastic session. We look forward to seeing you as part of our next event in partnership with Kin+Carta. This is part of the 3-part event as described, so there will be more. If you do have to miss one, that's absolutely fine. We will be publishing them on YouTube, and the code will be available on GitHub. Please don't get confused. We have another series running in parallel with this, which is part of our Innovation Labs series. I believe the first event will be running next Tuesday as well. And that's all around building a real app for one of our partners in the music space. And he's also, interestingly, looking for technical co-founders and developers to join him. So if you're interested in doing something along those lines, get involved. Again, you keep an eye on our Eventbrite and our meetup, and you'll see those as we go forwards. Big thank you to Andre, Roberta, Suave, Jermaine, and Jay. Thank you so much today, everybody. It's been a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you at our next session. All right.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.